Yeah, looks like they back for a fifth season, man.
Who that?
Sports Roundtable.
Who?
SRT Crew.
Whoa.
SRT. They got that realness flowing in they DNA. Damn you lame if you ain't tuned to SRT today. HO got that payload when he say so. What you betting on? Don't get mad at me on fantasy. Break up Kyrie LeBron. I be smooth as sports superhero Hancock in the mix. Deal with roll top forever. Real talk, you know who he gon' pick. See where I be with SRT. Behind the glass, that G Money. They win strong. I never lose. 6-man elite. That's J Smooth.
All you other sports radio shows is fake news. Believe it. Turn up your radios, cause it's time for SRT Radio. Yeah.
What up? It's Sports Roundtable, and we're live from our virtual studios overlooking at, we're not overlooking Atlanta Station, but we're overlooking the digital world. I am your humble host, H.O. from Bankhead, and of course, I got my main man who voted for Zach Edey for the first team rookie. Coach is in the building. Coach, what's happening?
You doggone right. Zach Edey made first team. He should have been a rookie of the year, but I don't want no trouble. But hey, Captain Dog it.
What's happening, Dez? What's up, Dez? Zach Edey, he should have won rookie of the year.
Yes, sir. His contribution was legendary. Where the other rookies at? Did they make the playoffs? No. Zach Edey made the playoffs. Leave me alone. Don't. Hey.
Some would say he rode to the playoff with the rest of the team.
See, there you go, opening up a can already. It's just too early. I ain't got no can opener for you to be opening this can up already. I'm gonna leave that alone. Zach Edey, my boy, cost me dinner, but that's okay. We're gonna talk about that. He gonna send me the money. He ain't worried about it.
I know that's right. All right, Coach. I got Smitty coming on here in a few.
Smith.
Yeah, let me. I don't even have my sheets up. Hold on, let me pull out my SRT sheet. There we go. Got a lot to talk about. The NBA playoffs is here. Yep. Okay. Here we go. I got it. Hawks new GM search, new name, and Shedeur Sanders made more money in college.
Oh, you got the fun bag at the bottom.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but Coach, I want to talk about, first of all. Well, let's start from the beginning. Before we even get started with all that, let's talk about the announcement that just came on about the NBA's MVP of the year.
Hey, H.O., keep talking. I got to check out for just a second, real quick.
All right, no problem.
I think.
But SGA is named MVP of the year for the NBA, and a lot of people thought that he was going to get it. So it's no surprise. MVP award goes to SGA. Shout out to SGA and his OKC teammates, as he is the 7th straight non-American player to win an MVP. 7 straight. So what that means is 7 straight years that no American-born players didn't win MVP. To my point, or to everybody's point, if that's the case, why do you think they wanted Cooper Flagg in a market that they can push? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP anytime soon, but they can groom him, and they can groom him well. So if he does everything that, or he lives up to the hype, he's an American-born player. So you can look for the NBA to push the Cooper Flag bandwagon. Trust me when I tell you. 7 straight years, no American player has won the MVP in the NBA. That's amazing. That's something to think about. Yeah, when Coach come back, I gotta ask him. So does that mean that the NBA has actually gone international now? I mean, who knows? That is something to think about. So we'll see how that goes. And but shout out to SGA, man, and that's all I can say. They up 1-0 on the on Minnesota, as it wasn't even about SGA last night. It was about the defense that the OKC put on Minnesota. Well, particularly Anthony Edwards, as they had eyes and ears and arms and hands all over him as soon as he touched the ball. So yeah, that was something serious. That was definitely something serious. So well, we hoping for a great series, but I mean, who knows at this point? We'll see. We'll see how it go. Minnesota got to come back, and it is a must win tomorrow night. It's a must win tomorrow night. Trust me when I tell you, they got to win game 2, or they might get swept. To be honest with you. So game 2, we'll see how this challenge that Minnesota is standing up against, see how they fare against that, and we'll see. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some hot news. The hot news sponsored by Big Easy Grill, 1193 Collier Road, Atlanta, Georgia. Big Easy Grill, the best Louisiana seafood spot in town. Going over to Big Easy Grill. The shrimp, the catfish bites, and the crab claws. Shrimp po' boy as well, and you got some beignets and seafood pasta. All for the low price of, just ask for an SRT discount. Ask for SRT or Sports Roundtable discount. Any meals, $25 or more. All right. So we finally got it down to the finals, and now we have the Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks about to get started right now, so we got to check them out. That is a old school kickback. Yeah, the last time they played, Rick Smits was the center for the Pacers. Yep, the last time they played, Dale Davis, Rich Smits, Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson versus Charlie Ward, Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell. How about that? Patrick Ewing and was it Charles Oakley? I think it was Charles Oakley. So that's been a long time ago. But right now, we go see how this goes. I think Coach said he ready to get back.
Rick Smits, Lord have mercy.
Oh, you heard me say Rick Smits?
Yeah, man. That take you back right there. Rick Smits, God, though.
Yeah, I got the lineup. Here we go. I got a correction. The last time the Knicks and the Pacers played in the Eastern Conference Finals, Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, Rich Smits, Jalen Rose, and Dale Davis. Or was it Antoine Davis? One of them Davises.
Might have been Antoine.
And then on the Knicks side, it was Larry Johnson, Latrell Sprewell, Patrick Ewing, Charlie Ward, and Allen Houston. Wow, Coach, that was
That's a
going
shootout
back.
there.
Yeah, that's going back, ain't
it? I thought you were gonna say Charles Oakley. I'd be like, ring the bell, fight.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the last time that they faced off. But now that it's down to 4, how do you see how do you like the matchups? Now we're down to 4 teams, the Eastern Conference Final, Western Conference Finals, and neither team has neither big guy, neither their top players have a ring. So whoever wins will be the first ring that they will have, or the first championship.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about the last 4 to survive?
Boy, I tell you, if they can't, one thing the NBA can't say, there's no parity. There's plenty of it. You got a new champion for the first, and this is the 7th year. You got somebody new coming in, and then this year on top of that, somebody can get their first ring. So can't beat that. If you like sports,
yeah,
new champion gonna be crowned. Can't beat it. Both these series going 7 though. I don't care what nobody say unless some miracle happens. Beat both these series. They so close. They going 7. That OKC win last night. It's gonna be a race because Minnesota gonna right that ship.
Right. I agree. At least I would want that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to this. Let's go back to this MVP with Shea Gilgeous as they are interviewing him now. But Coach, did you hear me say that this was the 7th straight year a non-American player did not win an MVP?
Yes, sir.
What does that say about the NBA, in your opinion?
So as a team, we good, but individually, we got some work to do. We're a good NBA team. So, yeah, they look good in the NBA, in the Olympics. But individual-wise, you got to find somebody. There's some out there. Tatum, Edwards, a couple more guys. But you got to show and prove. You know, like what the thing say? Don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah. Well, this still illuminates the fact that the Cooper Flag thing with Dallas, they go push this player to be one of the faces of the league like no other.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be featured. That's for sure. He's gonna be featured on TV every other night or something. You can best believe that. Dallas is gonna get plenty of play.
Yeah, I agree. So you can best believe they go push this Cooper Flag thing. So my question now is, 7 straight foreign players have won. Do we consider Canada as a foreign place? Or not foreign, but non-American?
Yeah. Trump said the 51st state, right? That's what he said.
Yeah, because Shea is from Canada, so does this mean that the face of the NBA has to be a foreign player, or just because they mean that? Or we just haven't picked nobody to be the American born yet.
Haven't picked anybody. Anthony Edwards, but he don't want to do nothing. He said, I just want to play basketball. I don't want to be the face of nothing. Even though, unfortunately, you may end up that way. But it's amazing. Oklahoma City is how easy can it be to coach them guys? Look at them right there. I'm looking at them on TV. Instead of him sitting there, you know, when you interview the MVP, he's sitting somewhere by himself and they talking to him. He got his whole team behind him. That just says a lot about them as a team right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the whole squad sitting there. Like, y'all, come on, man. In so many words. He's like, if I'm getting on it, my boy's getting on it. So, hey, I ain't mad at him. He got a squad with him. But they got Minnesota a little warm. They ain't bragging, but they got Minnesota ready to come back and do some damage, I bet. Now I know they hot. After that, what the big word debacle last night. Yeah, they got to do some amends for that one. So Shay said, we in Oklahoma for the first two. Y'all come on with it. We'll be waiting on y'all. And Anthony Edwards can't have that game where he had 0 points in the fourth quarter. That can't happen. And then his bench. Oh my gosh. The shooting for Minnesota. I could find 5 guys off the street shoot better.
Yeah, they was pretty bad. Rounder couldn't find anything going on in the second half though. That was tough for them.
But it was funny what they called Oklahoma City, that AAU defense.
Yeah, they called it that for sure.
So they pick you up from coach end to end. They don't wait for you to come down. They come get you. Which is what they did. So I ain't mad at them. But
so you got OKC, Minnesota. You say both games are going both series are going 7 in your opinion?
Yes, sir. This is gonna be a battle. Both of them gonna be battles, and like the old folks say, may the best team win. And they talking about New York, how they celebrating so much because they won. I'm like, if you haven't been to the NBA championship since '73, you celebrate too. Why not? I mean, why not? Why not celebrate?
Yeah.
Oh, look at the little boy. Oh, gotta have everybody on TV, Shay. That's right. Get the whole family on TV.
Now, Coach, if he wins the championship, does he defaultly be the face of the league?
For this year, yeah. For right now, yeah, until somebody take him off, because they've done it. They've done it from bell to bell. Pretty much, they've been in first place. So you can't argue. You can't argue with results, like they say. And he has shown that he can lead them, and they'll follow him anywhere. His team will.
Mm-hmm.
So can't argue with results. So until they get knocked off, everybody knew it was going to be Boston. But then, like I said, Tatum got hurt. That threw everything off. So he could have been heading toward the face. But Chuck running out to the truck. So let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
See if he wants that title. That's gonna be the thing for him.
Are you surprised how fast they grown up? OKC?
No, Not really, because they really emphasize the team concept seriously. They are a true team. So everything they do is together. When I first saw them after they won a game, they did an interview, and half the team was behind them. I said, okay, yeah, this camaraderie gonna be hard to beat right here. You got the whole team right there, talking. So, yeah.
All right, we're gonna wait till we get down to. We're gonna wait till we get down to the roundtable discussion to talk a little more about the basketball. But right now, let's jump into our second thing: the Hawks' new GM search. A new name popped up.
I'm
how do you
scared of this.
Monsieur Ujiri.
What?
Yeah, the Toronto Raptors. Well, he's the vice president and the head of basketball operations. Ujiri. Ujiri. His name popped up, saying that the Hawks are trying to pry him away from Toronto. He's in the last year of his contract, so they're trying to pry him away. Your thoughts on that real quick? And we got E-Dub coming on later to confirm or deny.
Okay. That's an interesting call right there. I didn't know about that. Ujiri. They talking to him saying, hey, man, basically, if nothing else, the Hawks got a pitch. You ain't gonna win nothing else in Toronto. Come on over. They can honestly say that because Toronto is going nowhere fast.
I agree.
So,
would you consider him a retread, or would you consider him still at the top of the game, even though Toronto has not been anything close to what they was when they won the championship with Kawhi?
When Toronto letting everybody go for some reason, they can't sign anybody. They signed that boy, what's his name? Oh, shoot. They let go of Van Vliet. They let go of some boy they gave a nice contract to, say he's going to be the new face of Toronto. What's his name? Shoot. I can't think of his name.
Scotty Barnes?
Yeah, Barnes, yeah. They signed him to be the face, but the face of what, though? You ain't got much to work around him. So it's I don't know what that ship gonna look like in the next couple of years. So he got a nice promising future. I mean, a team in the Hawks, and the Hawks are just really one piece away from being bouncing around being a contender. And oh Lord, I'm surprised Reggie Miller able to walk into Madison Square Garden without some threat on his life, where he abused them.
So with the Hawks GM, you like Ujiri or you like Ferry? Because Ferry is continuing to stay in the name talking category.
Where's Booth?
Oh, Kevin Booth as well. He's still in. So it's down to three: Kevin Booth, Ujiri, and Danny Ferry. Bob Myers took his name out. He said
I'd be happy doing NBA Today or whatever. I wouldn't worry about coming back.
Yeah.
Get away from that stress.
You liking Ujiri?
He be all right. He could be good. Oh, Lord, Tracy Morgan. Lord, I'm ready. He could be good with I just want to see how he would work with a new squad. You know, because like I said, Toronto is struggling. How would Ujiri do with a new group? Like I said, with the Atlanta Hawks. Like I said, a team that's got pieces, but like I said, one piece away or two from being legit. They can be good.
Yeah.
So Ferry, I think Ferry's still the though.
Ferris said the front runner.
I think
Do
so.
they need to apologize first before Ferry takes the job, or
Behind
looking at
the scenes, they probably will.
But that wasn't the ownership when Ferry was here, the one that's trying to hire him now.
Okay.
That was the Atlanta Spirit to let him go.
What they said, no harm, no foul. If he ain't do nothing to them, hey, bring him back and let him work some magic like he did before. You know.
But what has Ferry been doing since then, though? Does he still have it? Would you want to bring him back with all that going on?
I don't think it would hurt, though. He knows the landscape. He knows what he did.
He has basketball ties because his father. What was his father doing in Washington D.C.? Wasn't he like an exec in Washington with the Washington Bullets?
Oh yeah, back in the day, I think so.
Yeah. So he got basketball pedigree for sure. But we got to talk to E-Dub about whoever they choose. Are they going to change coaches, or are they going to keep Quinn Snyder? Now, do you think Snyder is safe regardless of who they choose?
Yep.
You think so?
Well, haven't they been in the playoffs? You know,
No.
it is the play-in.
It's the play-in, not the playoffs.
No, that's right. Got to see how they handle that.
Then you gotta think about which GM. What are you gonna do with your superstar Trae Young? Do you want to rebuild without him, or do you want to build around him?
Ooh, that's a tough call.
It is a tough call, isn't it?
You got to see what you can get for him.
Well, I tell you this though, Coach. It was proven this year that with a defensive guy like a Dyson Daniels, that's the best fit for Trae, because the lack of defense didn't necessarily show up all the time like it used to. It seemed like to me he was able to, well, after growing up, being mature about playing basketball, it looks as if he was able to not really depend on scoring, and he was able to actually make players better. Because
right.
I think the knock on him was he wasn't able to make the teammates better as well. But this year was just a little different. So I would say that if you build around him, the blueprint is there. Defensive guys that can shoot the ball.
Yeah. I think what's name might be out of there. Capella.
Clint, yeah. Miles Turner, I think, may be a free agent. What you think about him?
Then that let you know if Clint Capella gone in. If you get Miles Turner. But who wants Capella?
That's true. It'll be very, very interesting to see who they pick as a GM and which way did they go. Are you okay with Quinn keeping his job, or you think that if you the GM, would you give him another shot, or would you wait?
Year.
Now Mike Malone sitting out there too.
Yeah, I think I'd give him another year, and you might be able to make that switch in the middle of the year.
Could a Calvin Booth, Mike Malone
Oh,
combination?
that's right.
Would that
That's
could
right.
that combination impress you?
Yeah. I can see
It would.
Malone coming in there with a firm hand and looking at Trey Young like, look here, partner. Either get with it or get gone. You know, we'll survive without you. I did not know
Yeah.
Draymond was on, but
Yeah. You knew they were. You know the media has gone crazy. All right, Coach. Shedeur Sanders signs a
no.
4-year deal, $4.6 million with the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people text me and say, "So does that mean he's the starting quarterback?" No, does not mean he's the starting quarterback. That means that he go get $4.6 million, and if they can give him $4.6 million and still not make the team, and they can cut him.
Mm-hmm.
But
People are forgetting though.
he also made $6.5 million last year while at Colorado.
Wow.
What a big drop this is. So what's your thoughts about this here contract and all of what Shedeur has to endure or has endured through this process?
Well, that fall from grace should have taught him something, if nothing else. Going from where you were, possibly the number one pick down to the 5th round. So work is needed. Basically, they're telling you, you got to work for this thing, dog. It ain't just giving to you just because your daddy's last name is Sanders and because your last name is Sanders. He can't run nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and see, they're going to put out all kind of stuff. But my thing is this, Shedeur and anybody else. Man, Shedeur look good in practice. It's rookie mini camp, and it's 7-on-7. And I wouldn't put much stock in that right now. I want to see you being chased by Myles Garrett and some of them other guys. Let's see what you got then. You know, they can't tackle you. They can still chase you.
Mm-hmm.
So this means nothing. Like you said, people telling you, oh, he signed a contract. That don't mean nothing. It's 90 people in camp. You got to get down to 53 or 54, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So no guarantees, young buck. No guarantees. So you got work to do. That's all. Simple as that. He got work to do.
Now, if he got, let me pull up Dylan Gabriel's contract. Or do you know it already?
Mm-mm. I think Gabriel got a little more. Not much, but a little more.
Yeah, 4 years, $6.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Who's the quarterback? Who's the quarterback competition between Gabriel and Sanders, or do you throw Flacco in now?
Flacco by default, because he's the old man of the group, so he's gonna be the one to get it by default, just because he's been there and done that. And I know good and well, what's the name might get cut. Kenny Pickett.
You think so?
Yes, sir. He might be the odd man out. And I don't know why. He happy. I don't know if he happy not going to Cleveland. Because you might be stuck, partner.
Yeah, I agree.
And every time I see it, I just look at Pittsburgh like y'all wasted a draft pick on that dude. You really did. So that don't make me feel good. Y'all had a draft pick, first round too. But you pay for it. And now that boy on his third team in 3 years. In 2 years, I mean.
What's the chances Shedeur be the starting quarterback, or how long will it take for him to be the starting quarterback? First game, 5th game, 10th game.
5th game.
5th game.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
You see, Kevin Stefanski has switched some things up in training camp, giving the rookies a lot of more reps.
He don't have a choice. Because you ain't got nobody other than, like I said, you got Sanders, you got Pickett, you got Flacco, and you got Gabriel.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to go with.
What type of season will they have, you think, in Cleveland? With Myles Garrett coming back with money in the bank, he's motivated, I guess. But the quarterback situation is still up for grabs, and their running back situation is not secure. I say it that way. But they did get the Ohio State running back, right?
Yep. What place did Cleveland finish in last year?
Let me pull that up for you.
Just gonna say it ain't gonna hurt. Just gonna say it. Come on, H.O., you holding out on me. Last place.
Yeah.
That's where they gonna be again. Last place.
3-14.
They don't even know if they want to sign Nick Chubb.
3-14, yeah.
They may win a couple more games.
That was pretty bad, though, wasn't it?
Very. But you got them people. Baltimore is the only one people not worried about. Everybody else got issues. Baltimore feeling pretty good. They just gave Derrick Henry another contract. They rolling.
Yeah. That could possibly be the best division in football, you think?
Joe Burrow, none of his defensive boys want to play. His rookie linebacker had all those sacks. He can't get right. You ain't signed your best defensive player who had 14 sacks. And then you got another guy who's having issues. He can't get a defense. Flacco gonna throw for 9,000 yards, but gonna give up 10,000.
I agree. Well, let me bring on my main man. He's sitting in the back room, and he can tell us more better than anybody else. All right, ladies and gentlemen, main man Smitty Smith. Yes, Smitty. We on our hot news to talk about Shedeur Sanders and is Cleveland gonna be good this year? And they won 3 games last year. And how much with their quarterback with a big question mark on it? How better would they be next year with a quarterback in question, but a highly motivated Myles Garrett to get back. How improved could Cleveland actually be?
Before I get started, man, let me say something right quick, man. The coach owner Jim Irsay just passed away. So
What?
yeah, he just passed away.
Oh, okay. You coming in with breaking news, huh?
Yeah, man. So yeah, very sad, man. Coach just
damn.
announced it on Twitter, and been a turbulent ride, man. But yeah, to answer your question about what's going on in Cleveland, would they be competitive? Probably. But they play in a tough division. They got the Steelers, they got the Ravens, they got the Bengals. So I mean, it just all depends, and I think they got a tough schedule as well. But the quarterback position is going to be up in the air, and they're not just going to come out and say, well, they said Joe Flacco was going to be a starter. But me, honestly, I don't believe that. I believe whoever wins it between the young guys is going to take over. He may start first 3-4 games, but depending on where they are at that point, you're going to see a quarterback change, because if they start 0-4, what's the point in starting Flacco when you can let the young guys get some reps? But I think, too, with Jerry Jeudy and the weapon they've added to rookie running backs, they still have a problem on the offensive line they need to address, because I think they lost 2 of their offensive linemen. The offense should be okay, but we don't know how the pass protection and the run protection going to hold up. As far as defense, honestly, I still think they should have took Abdul Carter, but they went Mason Graham from Michigan to work on the interior of that line to help Myles Garrett. So in that aspect, that could be key to that front seven. They still do have Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, and these guys in the secondary. So they still have a solid team, and they still have the same coach. So if they can go 500 in their division this year, I think they'll be okay. But as far as the quarterback position, I honestly think Shedeur Sanders has the tools and the skills to take that starting spot. It is no knock to Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, or Joe Flacco. But I feel like if he can get on court, he's with the third string team right now, as they say. But if he can get everything rolling in the right direction by the time preseason rolls around, he can win that job.
Okay. So we did have a question. Does Shedeur start first game, 5th game, or 10th game?
I would say somewhat toward the back end of the schedule, because, like I said, they have a losing record. You have no point to keep playing Flacco. But they have a matchup in prime time against the Tennessee Titans, and what not to get the biggest rating with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders on the field at the same time. So whenever that game rolls around, he'll be ready for that game. But I would say week 5. Like I said, because they start off 0-4, there's no point in keeping Flacco in. We know what he's going to do. We know what his ceiling is. He has reached it, and it wouldn't be no reason to keep him in. Let your young guys get their reps. Let whoever win that starting job between Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and what's the other kid, Dylan Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
You just let them battle it out.
All right, we're going to swing back real quick, Smitty, before we jump into the Falcons report.
That's fine.
Hawks' new GM search. Your jury name just came up just a week ago from Toronto. Danny Ferry and Kevin Booth names still stay in the frame.
Right.
So I'm asking you, do you jury from Toronto, if they're able to swing that deal, is that a good thing, or you wouldn't really swing that way?
I'm going to tell you, keep it real with you, man. I'm still going Danny Ferry. I know what happened in Atlanta. I know about the email. I know about what happened, with the front office. But again, I think he was set up. Even was it right to say it? No. But the team that he was building a contending team. If you look at after he got rid of Joe Johnson, the guy that he brought in the year and a half that he was here, they ended up being on that 60-win team a couple of years later. So he knows how to build a team from his time in San Antonio up under Pop. And we talk about international players. We would definitely have a lot of more international players on this team to blend this team with the right amount of talent. And I think Trae Young, honestly, it benefits him the most, because he needs talent around him, and I don't think Danny Ferry would be scared to go get any talent that he feel like he can bring in. Because if he traded Joe Johnson, guess what? He can make any other moves to make this team better. Because Joe Johnson was the heart and soul of the Hawks right then before he traded them to Brooklyn. And I just like Danny Ferry as a GM because I know he had the championship pedigree. He was in Cleveland when LeBron first got in the league, and then in San Antonio. So he knows how to build a team, and I think it would be the right move to bring Danny Ferry back.
Now, many people know Smitty from doing the Falcons report and doing football, but Smitty, I think you was spot on with this one. And I think if they bring Danny Ferry in, it's pretty much a guarantee that Quinn Snyder is going to be the coach because of the connection, because of the blue blood connection.
Right. Absolutely.
So, are you, or now you got the Danny Ferry connection, and you also got the Calvin Booth / Mike Malone connection as well. You could bring in Booth, he can get rid of Snyder and bring in Mike Malone.
I think that would be a mistake though, because the Hawks are trending in the right direction. All you add on is, as I've been saying for the last 2-3 years, you add a 7-footer to this team, whether it's a veteran or a young guy. This team looked totally different because they have somebody to protect the rim, have somebody to score from inside, from the post, from the wing. And it's a young Chinese guy named Hanson Yang, who's 7'2", handles the ball like a forward and can pass like a point guard. So I think you get a Danny Ferry, you will definitely see more international players. Because remember, he went and got Tony Parker from France. He went and got Boris Diaw after he left the Hawks. He gets Manu Ginobili. So, I mean, international is what he knows. He knows how to find talent. So, as far as finding the right talent for this team, like you said with the Blue Bloods, I think Danny Ferry is the perfect hire.
If Danny Ferry was the GM when they drafted Luka would have stayed in Atlanta then, right?
Absolutely, 100%. No matter what the ownership said. Absolutely.
Hey Joe, get Smitty in there. Yeah, Smitty know more than they do. Get him in there.
Hey man,
I
don't want them problems. I don't want them problems. Nah. And honestly, man, I'm not gonna even throw no shade at Kyle Korver because I don't think he has a lot of control as to what goes on in daily operations. I just think he's there to help develop the players.
Okay, I got you. Well, check this out. I got somebody on the back line that can talk to us, and we're gonna have our Hawks and Falcons report all at the same time. E-Dub is in the building, yeah.
What's up, fellas? How we living?
Hey, I'm good. You got that microphone, Coach.
Yeah, I see you got the pretty microphone again.
Yeah,
hey man, this was the birthday gift for my wife, man. Like, you know, investing in your boy. Investing in your boy. You gotta have a good microphone.
Yeah. So real quick, to catch up, E-Dub, we talked about the Hawks. We were talking about the new GM or the new GM search. Ujiri name just came up last week. And then I'm hearing some rumblings about Giannis' agent could possibly want to jump into the front office as well. So, I mean, it's just so many moving parts. So, E-Dub, I wanted to bring you on just to see where we can go and where we're going. Smitty did a stand-up job talking about bringing Danny Ferry back, and everybody want to pass the plate around just to see if we can do something. So, E-Dub, where do you stand with the Hawks' new GM search?
Yeah, I mean, I heard the same report you guys did. I saw the same thing about Masai Ujiri and Giannis's agent. Not a big fan of Giannis' agent like running the organization because you have to think long term. Like you have to think 3 and 4 years from now. He's an agent. Not saying that he can't do the job, but if you make a move like that, you're obviously just trying to get Giannis. So like not a fan of that. It was very surprising to hear Masai Ujiri's name. If there's any flame or any smoke to that, make it happen. Like I'm all in on that. Like if there's any truth to that, or if there's any spark of hope, like that's the guy. You have to credit the organization that is doing the search for this, because there's been no leaks. Like this is the first time we've heard anything. And that is why you hire an outside firm like that, is because they keep everything tight-lipped and nobody knows. It's all speculation. So Masai Ujiri is a great name to be speculated with. And if you can make that move, make that move. But I would definitely take that over Giannis's agent.
Yeah,
All right,
next
so-
thing you know,
Facts.
you drag the NASA's with him. No, leave him right there. No, sir. Leave him
Man.
right there.
So E-Dub, we just got through talking. Smith made a great point about Danny Ferry, and we said that if Danny Ferry was the GM when Trey and Luka got drafted, then we would have Luka instead of Trey.
That's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to spin the block on GMs. You know what I mean? Like you can't go back to your first love. I think Danny Ferry, I think that his legend needs to be getting off that Joe Johnson contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that be his legend. But I don't think you can bring him back. Even though I thought he did a yeoman's job until he started talking about them Africans. You can't be doing that, man.
Yeah.
Do that, man.
Okay. So Ujiri is your number one choice. What about Kevin Booth and the Mike Malone connection?
I mean, I think both of those would be okay hires, but if you want an okay hire, you could have kept Landry. I really think that they're trying to make a splash with this. That's not really a splash move. Masai Ujiri is a splash move. It seems like they want to be high profile, like they want to make a splash, and those names that kind of don't really move the meter. They would probably be a good hire, but it doesn't seem like it would be a splash. It seems like they want a splash here. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
All right, so let's flip it on back to the football, and so he does. I'm gonna give your vocal cords a rest for a second. And we're gonna jump over to football real quick. Smitty, I saw your video today about the kickers, and you talked about Young Wei Koo may be out the door, and that the new kid may be the one. And my question is, do you bring in more kickers to beef up the competition, or do you leave it at 2?
I think they'll bring in one more during training camp and during preseason, just to put up a fair fight. But honestly, man, the way things went last year for Koo, it seems like his confidence was shook for some reason. And there were reports that he had a hip injury, but nobody really confirmed it. But at the end of the day, it's all about competition, no matter what position it is. And on the other hand, he's $4 million, with the salary cap this year, $4 million cap hit. So you could say that $4 million, put it in the savings, bring in a younger guy, and just see what he can do. And if you've got confidence he can kick and make this team put up points for this team, hey, you make the move. Because at the end of the day, it's all about saving money, putting the best team on the field. And if he can do that, I'm for it. And it's no slight to Koo, because he's had a hell of a run in Atlanta, but last year it made me seem like he went back to the 2017 Koo when he was with the Chargers, and that's how it felt. So
you don't want to make you be careful. You don't want to make a young hoe mad. You know how that works.
So do you think he need to go back to his regular kicking style, or he need to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That side foot kick that didn't work. He was a straight leg, straight foot kicker, and he definitely should do that, because I think he had 2 kicks blocked last year. He missing extra points. No, that is not cool. We talk about a Pro Bowl kicker, man. Pro Bowl kicker.
Now, do you think, Smitty? Do you think they would massage the ego of Justin Tucker and bring him in?
No, they don't want that PR nightmare. No. Nope.
I mean, it seemed like for a minute he doesn't miss He's usually on
Well,
point with his touch.
hey, coach, he took a back seat last year too. He was bad
Yeah.
last year too. So I
Yeah.
mean, what would they be gaining besides another big contract?
Yeah, but I think he got the magic touch. And
Yeah, he could be out to prove himself at the end of the day, but I
like
just
a
think you
lot of
start over
money.
young, just like they did with Kua a couple of years ago. Just start young, and if he can do the job, I mean, hey, he got a strong leg. If he's accurate, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, that's gonna be key for the Falcons, who seen a lot of time they got down there and couldn't punch it in, and you know that 3 points off the board if you can't get a kicker.
Right.
3 points you might need. So
Yep.
All right, we're gonna switch it back over to E-Dub. E-Dub, does Clint Capella make the Hawks roster next year?
Oh, absolutely not. He's out of here. He's out of here. They're gonna get up off that contract, which will give him a little bit of relief. And you would have liked to have moved him, but you're not just gonna move him for nothing, right? And so folks are up in arms. Why didn't you trade Clint? We should have traded Clint. You know, let's trade Clint for Giannis. Like, people get really crazy with their trade, stuff. But if nobody's offering anything, you're not just going to give the man away. And so they just had to eat it. And I said this last time I was on your show. A lot of times the Hawks' problem is they hold on to guys a little bit too long, and then they're not able to get value from them when it's time to move on. You have to be cutthroat when you're a GM. You got to let guys go a little bit early before you do it a little bit too late. You know, if you want to get value for it. Same thing with John Collins. Same thing with Kevin Huerter. They waited and they didn't get much value for these guys. And so, to answer your question, Clint Capella, wish him the best. He had a good run in Atlanta. I'm sure he'll get a wonderful video tribute when he returns. But yeah, it's time to move on.
Okay,
but you know who would be a good trade partner if they just really thought about it, because they need somebody like him. I would be talking to the Denver Nuggets, because the Nuggets need a decent backup center, not one that's just gonna come out there and score some. But DeAndre Jordan about to go, so the Nuggets might be able to swing something with them and get one of their players for Capella, because they need somebody to get Jokic.
Well, the thing about Capella's contract is up, so he's a free agent. So if you did a move like that, it would have to be a sign and trade. I doubt they're in. I doubt they would try to do a signing trade with anybody. I think they'll just eat it and just let him go, and just take that bread and disseminate it somewhere else on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, it's back on Smitty. Smitty, the schedule came out. You had a show. The Hawks got 5 primetime games this year. Go ahead and sum it up for us about how you like the schedule and how you like the primetime game.
I was a little worried about the schedule, but as I looked at it, man, looked at the opponents, I think they could still have a fairly decent season, man. We know last year, they started 6-3 and they fell off towards the end. They pretty much brought back a lot of the veterans they had last year to mix in with these younger guys. So if the chemistry is there, I feel like they can be like a 10-17. The primetime games, absolutely love them. You talk about Buffalo, you talk about the Rams. Who else? It's somebody else they have at home. I think Washington. You talk about Washington's 1:00. I had to look at it again. But as far as 5 primetime games, I absolutely
those are home games.
2 on the road, 2 at home. Well, 2 on the road, 3 at home. Because they have I think Tampa on a Thursday night. So I think with the primetime games, I think it brings them a lot of attention that I think the NFL know they deserve. And the way they fell off last year, I think they know they're a better team than what they played second half of last year. They got rid of Jimmy Lake, which I think was one of the better moves this offseason. When you look at the type of competition that they're going to play now, you talk about guys like Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, who just got a new deal. That NFC West is going to be tough. And I already have Arizona as a trap game. because we've only won one time since 2001 in Arizona. So, and only once really since they were in St. Louis back in 1980. So, it's been
Yeah,
rough
I
for them.
saw that video when you mentioned St. Louis Cardinals. I was like,
Yeah,
boy,
yeah,
really
yeah.
went
It's been a
all
long time, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's scheduled, man. It's fair. It's fair. And I think they have enough talent with the talent that they brought in. You think about what they have on offense still. You still have Mooney. You still have London. I think Pitts could turn the corner. Bijan, one of the better running backs in the league. Then you have Tyler Algier to back him up, give him a rest when he needs that thunder and lightning type duo. So Michael Penix has everything in Atlanta to succeed. All Zach Robinson has to do is be consistent with his play calling. If he can do that, Falcons have no problem. Think they made enough move on defense with the draft and free agency for this defense to be competitive. And if they can control the clock on offense, helps this defense. And I think that, to me, can equal to a 10-7 or 11-6 record.
Okay, though. All right, E-Dub, we're back on you. Me and Coach was talking right before you came on about a possible Miles Turner signing to pair with Double O in Atlanta. With his defensive presence and his shooting ability, how do you think that could work or possibly work?
Oh, I'm all for it. I mean, the only, and it's not even a caveat. It's just you have to decide what do you want to give up. Like, what do you want to give up for him? Like, are you going to give pieces? Are you going to give away young talent? Are you because in order to get something, you got to give something up. You know, Miles Turner is the guy who I think would be very valuable. If you bring in a Miles Turner, do you give up a Double O? Do you give up one of your young guys? Do you give up Dyson? I mean, I doubt you'll move Dyson Daniels. You have a lot of foundational pieces I think you found this year. And I'm not saying that there's no value, but like you have to decide what you want to give up for him, you know.
Well, based on what I just read, he will be a free agent during the summer.
Oh, Miles Turner. Yeah, I think he is a free agent. Yeah. So, I mean, if you got the bread to sign him, and then you still have an issue about like, what do you do with Double O? Because he just got his money. He's a center. He's not a power forward. And so you can bring in a Miles Turner, but then you kind of have to move Double O. He's not going to come in here to ride the bench. Right. He's just not, you know. Logistically, I don't know how it will work without like coming off of Double O, unless you find something else dynamic and you move Double O. And I don't think they're not opposed to moving Double O. He's not that dynamic of a center. And I think if they had a choice, they would probably rather have Turner over Double O. But yeah, it's a little bit of a logjam. You don't know. You can't play them beside each other because Jalen Johnson is the power forward. You know what I mean? So you got a logjam. You literally just paid Double O, and he's not coming off that bench.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely.
All right. Well, Coach, we got a whole lot of praying to do based on the GM. Whoever the GM is, if you go after Miles Turner, that means you got to do something with Double O.
Yeah, that's why you got to bring in somebody experienced.
Say it again.
They just got to pick out. You go ahead, Smith. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
That's why you got to bring in somebody experienced, man, that know what they're doing. As far as roster wise, as far as money, you can't just hire somebody young because if they take on this job, I think it'll be a little bit too much for them. And especially like E-Dub just said, you got to find a way to get rid of somebody. If you're going to bring in somebody to upgrade this team, you're going to know how to make the right moves. And honestly, it's either the Toronto guy or Danny Ferry. To me, those are the top two candidates, and it ain't no way around it. And even if Elton Brand had stayed in the chase, I wouldn't even want him in Atlanta because I don't feel like he could have made a big difference.
Okay, yeah.
And if you're talking free agents, I do think that there is a small market of value there for free agent bigs. You saw last year that you need at least 3 at least 3 good centers on your roster. You know,
Exactly.
you have I believe Larry Nance. I believe Nance is still under contract, or he might be in a final year. So he's always a great.
Year. Yeah,
He's in the last year of his deal, and I believe that if any move is making, he's on the way out of here.
Oh, yeah,
Just because
no
he has a tradable contract, and you know, again, it's nothing personal. But if you look at free agent centers, for me, guys, I would like to see like some guys that I've targeted. One, Steven Adams out of Houston.
Absolutely.
Tough guy that can rebound. We all know rebounding isn't double O's. Like, that's not really what he's superior. He's a good rebounder. He's actually better than I thought. But Steven Adams gives you toughness coming off that second unit. You got your guy in Boston, Luke Cornett. He's going to make a lot of money. Big, he can move. You know, he's coming off a $2 million contract. You know, you might be able to siphon him from Boston. And the last guy I like is the guy in Dallas, Dwight Powell. All 3 of these guys. So you need kind of be looking for backup caliber for centers if you're going to keep double O. Now, if you're planning on moving them, roll the dice with Miles Turner, you know. But we don't know because we don't have a GM. Well, we don't have a president who's going to make that call yet. So we just don't know.
Hey, E-Dub, I throw a curveball at you right fast. With the way they're rebuilding in Sacramento and Demetrius Sabonis, he's got a nice size deal. If you could swing a trade for him, probably with double O in one of those first round picks, I would definitely think about doing that because I know what I'm getting. Solid defender, solid guy in the paint. And I feel like he could do the job. I mean, it would be an upgrade of what we have right now.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm all for that. Take double O, take Kobe Buffkin, and I'll give you a first round with it. I'll give you I'll give you number 22. Give me Sabonis. I mean, it's probably going to cost more than that for Sabonis. He's a fringe all-star. Well, he is an all-star. He's been an all-star. Right. So it's going to cost more than that. But like, if you can swing that shit, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely.
What's the name of the free agent center that they not really going? I don't think anybody gonna get him. But Naz Reid is a free agent.
Oh yeah, they're not letting him out of Minnesota.
Yeah,
he ain't going nowhere.
They're not letting him out of Minnesota.
Exactly. All right, let me go to the chat. Dad said Adams ain't gonna let nobody rough Trey up either. So yeah, that'll be the protection. You got protection with Dyson Daniels protecting Trey on the perimeter, and Adams protecting Trey in the middle. So yeah, all right, E-Dub, I'm gonna have to get back to you on another question, but gotta say what's up to Cuz. Cuz is in the chat. He said yo. So all right, let's see. We're going back to Smitty. Let's get to the Atlanta Falcons and let's talk about the dynamic duo that we have now. I'm prefacing this by saying that E-Dub is a Tampa fan, so let's not keep rubbing it. Let's just not rub it too hard with the Falcons because, we don't want to run E-Dub away. But with Drake London, Michael Penix, and Bijan Robinson, how quickly could these 3 ascend to the top of the best trio in the NFC?
It's doable. But like I just said earlier, it's all up to Zach Robinson, how he calls plays. If he can set them up to be greater, I know he built the offense around Bijan, which I feel like, to me, it was a mistake. And there's nothing against Bijan. I just feel like Kyle Pitts being a tight end, controlling the middle of the field, I think it opens up the offense, opens up the playbook and everything. But these 3 guys, the one you talked about, I think too, Darnell Mooney is going to be a big part of that because we talk about a guy first half of the season, he was acting like he was the number 1 receiver. First 10 games, he was leading the offense as a receiver. But to be honest too, Kyle Pitts has to show up, man. He has to use that size, and Zach Robinson has to find a way to make him part of this offense, a go-to guy. And that's nothing against Drake London either because we know Drake London had a career year last year. But you look at the top teams in the NFL, Kansas City, who's their top guy? Travis Kelce. Who else? The Raiders. Brock Bowers came in as a rookie, destroyed the league. So tight ends are quickly becoming the quarterback safety blanket like they used to be back when we grew up. So Kyle Pitts has to be that guy in this offense, man. If he can do that, Bijan goes for 1,500 yards. Drake probably gets another 1,000. Mooney could get 1,000. And Michael Penix could probably have over 4,000 yards passing, probably 30 touchdowns. But it all depends on how Zach Robinson leads this offense. Does he trust Michael Penix enough to open up his playbook like he did on the back half of the schedule? It's something that we'll have to wait and see.
See, that's the thing. You mentioned Kyle Pitts. I don't know if the Falcons know how to use him.
They don't. And it showed a little bit last year, but again, if they get him involved early and often and open up the run game and control the clock, he'll be dangerous because no one can guard him. Linebacker, safety, cornerback, nobody. So yeah, it's up to Zach Robinson at the end of the day.
Smitty, let me ask you a question. With the Kyle Pitts, and I'm a big Kyle Pitts guy from Florida, with the Falcons' inability to like really maximize his talent, do you think that it's having an effect on Kyle Pitts? Like, does he think that, like, man, like these cats don't even know how to get me the ball? You know what I mean? Or do you think that he's still like, okay, I still got, because he just seemed to like kind of lose his swagger a little bit, man. Because it's like, man, they're not gonna throw me the ball. Like, you think that, or maybe it's a coaching thing that got to get him up.
That's a great question, man. That's an absolutely great question. But I'm gonna put it like this. It's just like you learn your teenage daughter or son how to drive, and you give them the keys, and they just all over the place until they get comfortable with driving. He has that quarterback he's comfortable with now. He goes into he's sitting on Cam Newton's show. He goes into another season with the same quarterback instead of having to switch quarterbacks and learn, how they play and how to adjust to them. And with Michael Penix, I think he's going to be able to adjust him just fine. Why? Because he has confidence in him. I don't think he had confidence in Cousins and Heineke and Ritter and Mariota like he does Matt Ryan and Michael Penix. So now that he's back to a guy that he's comfortable with, I think now you may see the real Kyle Pitts, the one you saw his rookie year. And that's the only way that I could see it, because if you look at last year, Kirk Cousins, I watched it, Denver game, Denver game, New Orleans game. Kyle Pitts was open 3-4 times in each of those games. Kirk Cousins didn't even look his way. Why? Because he didn't have no confidence in Kyle Pitts. I don't think, he knew how to utilize his skill because he didn't have the arm strength to get him the football. Look at Penix in that Washington game, how he was slinging the ball all over the field. That touchdown catch. Kirk Cousins could have never done that. So if he has somebody that's confident to make those type of throws, it's going to build his confidence at the same time. And like I said, I think we see the 2021 Kyle Pitts this season.
All right, Smitty. Before I put this question in the chat up, I want to say this. You just mentioned that if Michael Penix can throw for 30 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, how many apologies will the fan base have to give to Terry Fontenot and Coach Ra, for drafting him a year early if he had that type of season?
They don't have to get him an apology because he's just doing his job. At the end of the day, it's about doing your job, knowing what you need to do to win. And a lot of people mad because of the Kirk Cousins contract, but at the end of the day, you want your quarterback to sit a year, learn the offense, get in the film room, so once he hits the field, hey, he's fine. We seen it with Patrick Mahomes. You saw it with who it was back in the day. Not Peyton Manning, but
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. So when you think about it, if you sit and they learn on the veteran quarterbacks, it's best for them. So I mean, they don't owe them no apology because they doing their job. They knew what they were doing. They got an insurance policy just in case. And like they said, you don't know when you're going to draft that high again. So why not go get your franchise quarterback?
If he throw for 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, I'm gonna get Hancock gonna have to buy you some Big E's. As simple as that. All right, there's the question. There's the question in the chat there for you, Smitty.
Thomas, I actually like our quarterbacks. Will Kirk Cousins be here after the trade deadline? That I do not know. I don't even know if he'll be here after preseason because we know injuries happen. You look at the situation in Miami. I've been hearing rumors that they may want to trade Tua at some point. So I mean, it just all depends on what the Falcons want to do. Are they willing to just eat up that contract? Will another team take on some of that money? I don't think so. But I would like to see, even though they signed Easton Stick, they have Emory Jones, who's really just a practice squad guy. I would like to see them go and get a guy like Tyrod Taylor, who has been in the league a while, who I think fits Michael Pence's skill set. Go out and sign a guy like that as a backup if you get rid of Kirk Cousins. So I love the quarterback room, but I still think the Falcons need to get a backup because, as I told H.O., I don't think Kirk Cousins touches the field again for the Falcons unless Michael Penix goes down with an injury.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Long the Falcons keep Cousins, that's fine.
All right, E-Dub, back to you. The Hawks get 2 first-round picks. They had the number 1 pick last year overall, and now they get 2 first-round picks. How you feel about 2 first-round picks, but we don't have a GM? So this could be a blessing, but also a curse. How do you decide to look at this with 2 first-round picks? Is it leverage? Is it a chance to just show our incompetency as an organization? Or how do you see it?
It's always a good thing, right? It's like you always want more picks than to not have them, and everything kind of broke just right for them getting that 13th pick, and for them getting that pick. I believe it's at 22.
Yeah.
So that's a good problem to have. Leverage is depending on how you look at it, right? And so again, it all goes down to the man in charge and who's pulling the strings on what they want to build, right? So what the picks do is they give you options. Like you can take the picks, you can trade the picks. Everybody knows that's what it is. You can package the picks. 2 first-rounders are of value, but you got to understand you're trying to make a splash. The time is ticking on Trae Young. Trae Young has spent another offseason watching these point guards eat. Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton. You can't tell me the hairs on the back of Trae Young's neck are not standing up.
What's the common denominator, E-Dub? A big man.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, these picks would be nice, but the clock is running. And you still haven't really extended to Trae Young yet, and you're gonna have to make a decision. So the picks are of value, but it really depends on the guy they bring in on what direction he wants to go.
So with that being said, do you think whatever GM that they bring in, will Trae Young talks be on the table to move him to try to build his team up under Johnson and Ricochet?
Absolutely. I mean, everything is on the table, bro. Like we saw Luka Doncic get traded. Everything is on the table. Now, I always say in my podcast, it's possible. It may not be likely, but everything is always possible, right? So, like, nothing ever surprises me. I highly doubt it. I think Trae is the guy that they want. Trae wants to be here in Atlanta. Like, he's made that unequivocally clear. But the boy wants to be in the playoffs and he wants to win, And so it's like, yeah, you can bring in 2 first-rounders, but I don't know if you got 3 years to wait for them to develop. I mean, they got to be hits. You know what I mean? Luckily, you have a pretty nice rotation of foundational young core that you have. But in all honesty, all those guys healthy, you're still only a 500 ball club. Like you have a healthy Jalen Johnson, you're a 500 ball club. And so you need some more heat.
Hey, that's why I said it's a bonus, man, that you get a big man that can move and rebound and score. I mean, you cooking with fish grease. Like you said, these teams in the East or in the playoff that's been playing, the common denominator, all of them have a big man. And even what the dude in New York, Havenstein, he's not a big name, but he's not a big name, but he does his job. So get Trae a big man.
And the thing about it is with OKC, they're just a pack of dogs. Like
Yep.
the NBA doesn't make dogs no more, but OKC got a pack of them, bro. They had Alex Caruso on Jokic because Caruso was a dog. They got J-Dub. I mean, like, they are a pack of dogs. And unfortunately, Atlanta, you don't have no dogs. Like, you know, Double O mix it up a little bit, but you don't got no dogs. If you don't got no big, you got to at least have a dog.
Facts.
Right? You got to have one or the other, and they don't have either.
And you talked about OKC. Part of the reason why they are the way they are, they weren't scared to make those moves. Got SGA from the Clippers in a trade for Paul George, I think it was.
Yeah,
I'm not
the Paul
mistaken.
George trade.
Yeah, so you got to make
And
those
the
type of
Bevy of
moves, man.
picks.
Right. So I mean, that's what it's all about, man. Taking chances.
Yeah.
All right, back on you, Smitty. And there's I'm trying to find it. There we go. It's in the chat.
I just answered that.
You just answered that? Okay.
Yeah, go to the next one.
All right. So the question is this. Raheem Morris came out in a press conference to big up and gas up Kobe Bryant, the undrafted free agent.
Yes,
do you have a icky feeling that he might be the most impactful rookie that we have on this year's team, even though he was undrafted?
Well, I think I told you already. I can see him and Xavier Watts step right in. Xavier Watts, you just talked about dogs. That's what they got on defense. You look at Billy Bowman. He's a safety / nickel corner / linebacker. He can play downhill as a linebacker. He can drop back in the zone coverage like a cornerback. And he just does it all. Same with Xavier Watts. I can see him taking that spot on the other side of Jesse Bates from DeMarco Hellams. So when you talk about Kobe Bryant, you talk about a guy 6 foot 180. No, he's not big, but he doesn't play like he's 180. You talk about a guy that can set the edge, a guy that can get after the quarterback, a guy that can play up on the line, a guy that can play zone, and he fits excellent in his zone heavy scheme that Raheem Morris and Jerry Gray like to run. Then you got a former all-pro cornerback in Jerry Gray who teaches the positions very well. Look at what he did with AJ Terrell last year. AJ Terrell hadn't had an interception in 2-3 years. So he's in the perfect system and under the perfect secondary coach to get the best out of him. The only reason he failed, they said, was off the field issues. But we all know that with a strong veteran presence in the locker room, that goes right out the window. So he's in the perfect spot to succeed. And I think they got one of the biggest steals of the offseason, not just the draft, the offseason, because they got him for really pennies, if you think about it. And I think they were waiting on him, actually, if he went undrafted.
Big ups to that. All right, back to you, E-Dub. E-Dub, I got not a question in the chat, but somebody texted me and said, can you ask your Hawks guy, would he prefer a GM that can draft and seek talent or a GM that is savvy enough to put the team together with free agents?
That's a good question.
You got to do both. Like, you got to do both, and you got to do them well. I think that if you had to choose, you'd rather be better getting free agents because that's immediate return on your investment.
Right.
Look at the teams that are still playing. New York, they make the move for Bridges. That's enough to kind of make a difference. Look at OKC, the move they made to get Shy. You know what I mean? Indiana, even if you go back to get Siakam, you could even go back to when they acquired Tyrese Halliburton. All four of these teams have made really good free agent moves that have changed the trajectory of their team. And so, you still got to draft well because OKC has hit on a lot of their draft picks. But you if you had to pick one or the other, I would say free agency.
Smith, I'm gonna get you to answer that question too because you're a little savvy with this basketball talk. So, what'd you say?
I agree with E-Dub. Go out and get an immediate impact. He just said, and I said it earlier, look at the trade they made, trading a veteran away like a Paul George, knowing they got one of the better younger players in the draft that's coming up at point guard. And that's why I say if Trae Young is on the table, if you can get immediate investment return for Trae Young, you got to think about making that move because guess what? You still got two young guys, Arisa who has a couple of years before he has to sign a deal, Jalen Johnson. Then you get another guy that you can bring in with those guys. Then you add Dyson Daniels, one of the best defenders in the league. Oh, yeah, it's definitely free agency because, as I said, with this team they have now and they can go get a Sabonis or another big man like a Steven Adams, this team probably a top 5 team. That's just how quick they can turn it around because we know we getting in Quinn Snyder. We getting a defensive guy. That's why he goes out. That's why he gets a Dyson Daniels because it plays to his type of coaching. And the guy that I could have seen him going after, E-Dub, correct me if I'm wrong, Rudy Gobert. I could have seen him in Atlanta because his time with Snyder over in Utah, he knows what to expect. But yeah, I mean, free agents is all the way, but you have to make moves at the right time.
Yeah, I wasn't so much in favor of the Gobert move because all the things that I saw was I thought they would be giving up a little bit too much for him. And I didn't think that he was kind of just worth everything, like spending the bank. But like, you definitely need a big, man. Like you need a big. You need a big. And like, I mean, look at the Final Four. Like you said, everyone has a big, you know. And if you don't got bigs like OKC, I mean, even OKC, they got bigs. I mean, we talk about Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, 7 foot, 7 foot, and can play on the perimeter. Pascal Siakam's damn near 7 foot, can play on the perimeter. Karl Anthony Towns, we know what he can do. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to have a big, and he's got to be dynamic. So,
yep.
All right, back on you, Smitty. Which rookie, which defense position you think will have a bigger impact? The defensive ends or the linebacker core?
That's a great question. I'm going to say that the two guys I talked about earlier, the two defensive backs. And the reason why I say that is because you can use them in a multitude of ways. You talk about Xavier Watts, who played wide receiver, played linebacker, now plays safety. He knows how to read the field well. You can use him as a blitzer. You can use him downhill as a run stopper. You can use him to set the edge. You can use him in zone coverage. So, I mean, those two versatile guys, the defensive back, to me, are going to be the difference because I think it makes this secondary stronger. If you make this secondary stronger as to where they need more time to pass out of the pocket, the sacks are going to pick up. And if the sacks pick up, everybody gets motivated and this defense gets stronger as the year goes on. So I think those two defensive backs and Billy Bowman and Xavier Watts could be the key to unlocking this defense. And the reason why I say that too is because they have a young defensive line in the interior with Ruke Dorlis and those guys. They do have veterans, but those young guys are going to be the future in Atlanta. But I think those defensive backs are going to have to help this front seven grow until Jalen Walker and James Pierce adjust to the next level. So, yeah, these defensive backs to me are going to be key.
Troy Anderson may not have a lot of playing time this year, huh?
I don't think so because I think J.D. Bertrand played well enough last year to keep that spot, but he went out with a concussion and he was off and on for the rest of the season. But honestly, I think you should add Troy Anderson to this edge rushing group simply because you talk about a guy that's 6'4", about 250, runs a 4.4, so he can get after the quarterback. But when he drops back in coverage, that's just not him. So you use him more as to his strength than dropping him back in coverage. But he runs downhill well. But just dropping back in coverage, that's not him. But Jalen Walker, on the other hand, I feel like he's going to adjust very quickly because, as I said on the show a couple of weeks ago, with the way mobile quarterbacks are in this league, Jalen Walker is the perfect fit for the Atlanta Falcons while James Pierce on the other side setting the edge. So, Yeah, linebackers are going to be stronger this year, especially with Ulbrich returning as the defensive coordinator and him being a linebacker guy. These linebackers are going to play much better than they did last year.
Gotcha. All right, E-Dub, got another question in the on my. They sent it to me on my phone. I don't know why. I told them to just jump in. They scared to talk.
He can handle it.
I know it. But the question is this: what blueprint would you like the Hawks to follow to build their organization and team to be a NBA contender?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That's a good one. Again, I know we've talked about the Final Four, these Final Four teams. It's hard to replicate what OKC has done because they literally rolled a 7 when they made that trade for Shea. I don't even think they knew he was going to be that good. You know, free agent moves are so powerful, and you got to hit in your draft picks, right? So you get Shea, you luck out, and you get Chet in the draft, and you surround these guys with tremendous talent. But if there's a blueprint, man, that's a tough one. I mean, I guess OKC is the end because they're the best. Like right now, they're the best. You know, a while back, folks were saying like, "Oh, you kind of follow the Golden State blueprint," but you can't follow the Golden State blueprint because there's only one Steph, there's only one Clay, there's only one Draymond. That's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen.
I said it before. I will follow the San Antonio blueprint because I know what I'm going after. I'm going after length. I'm going after length in the front court. I'm going after pick and roll type guards in the back court. And the way Coach Pop and that San Antonio have built these teams over the years, they tough, they gritty, and they're fundamental. So fundamental basketball trumps everything. Yeah. So if I had to follow a blueprint, it would definitely be San Antonio.
And I think that is kind of what they have been trying to do, you know, with the accusation, with the drafting of Reese Shea, and to pair him and, you know, bringing in these guys with Dyson Daniels. These guys have long arms, you know, they're long. They want to get longer. And I think that they're trying to go like the San Antonio route, you know, to pick those guys who are interchangeable, positionless, who can stretch and defend, who can cover a lot of ground. That's why you get a guy like Reese Shea. And if they can find guys like that, I think that's what they're going to surround him with, surround Trey with, guys that can shoot, guys that can defend, you know. So I think that the mold they're going after it is San Antonio. But to answer your question, I would probably try to go the OKC route because I think you need one dominant free agent acquisition in order to be a championship contender.
Absolutely.
All right. Smitty, I'm coming back to you. Let me switch the banner. Boom. And there's a question for you, Smitty, in the chat.
That to me, Zavada, that really depends on how he picks up the new scheme. You got to remember Jimmy Lake was here last year. So it depends on how he recovered from his injury, how he picks up on the scheme, and what he's learned since sitting last year, what he learned in the film room, how much he's adapted to the playbook. You got to remember, when you talk about Braylon Trice, you talk about Brandon Dorless, and now James Pierce, you talk about three of the guys the last 2 years with the best pass rush percentage in college football coming into the draft and into the NFL. So we know these guys know how to get after the quarterback, but can the coaches unlock their talent to put these guys in a position to succeed? And I think Trice still fits well, but you just got to see what he's learned and how he's going to adapt to a new system, and can he get his confidence back in that knee after sitting out a whole year. It's up to him as how he will fit if he can adapt.
All right, now they're sending me chats. To my phone for you, Smitty. And this one for Smitty and for you, E-Dub. So Smitty, you can go first on this one. Would you rather have a great GM or a great coach?
That's a good question. I would say a great coach, because a great coach is going to lead the GM as to giving him the players that he needs to succeed. Because one thing about it, a GM don't coach the players, the coach the players. So if you got a great coach and he's going to tell the GM what to go shot for to make this team great, that's the way I would go. And you saw it with and that's the thing that is misconstrued about Thomas Dimitrov. Yeah, he had a bad ending, but from 2000, I think he was here from 2008 all the way up to when he left. He put the players on the field. He went out and traded for Tony Gonzalez. He drafted not Roddy. He drafted Julio. He went and got Michael Turner. He always put talent on his team. And Terry Fontenot is trying to do the same thing, but guess what? He had a salary cap to block that when he got here, so he's had to start over from scratch. Thomas Dimitrov would just put a player here, put a player there. He just knew how to build a team because of his time in New England. I didn't agree with what the last couple of picks he had in Atlanta, but from those first couple of years, he's one of the better GMs in the league, and can't nobody tell me different. So I would rather have a coach, championship winning coach that knows how to coach, that knows how to tell the GM what he wants and needs. Because at the end of the day, he's got to coach the players, and he's going to receive the most backlash if they don't turn out the way they're supposed to.
All right, E-Dub, same question. Better coach, better GM.
Man, it's tough. I mean, they got to work in tandem, right? Like you need. It's like saying what is more important, offense or the defense, right?
Or you could say which one would you prioritize? I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
the one who picked the grocers, the one who coaches the grocers.
Give me a better GM, because if he can pick the better players, you pretty much don't even need a coach. I mean, no disrespect to Steve Kerr, but you know that team, that Golden State with Kevin Durant and Steph and all those guys, they're winning a bunch of games, even if Steve Kerr is not that coach. So
yeah, Draymond Green was the coach. So
give me the GM that can give me Steph. Give me the GM that can give me Kevin Durant with Steph Curry, and I'll rock with that above a coach.
Yeah, but football is different. I think football. Absolutely. You got more players to coach, so I feel like coaching just got to be different in the NFL. But I agree with that. I agree with that in the NBA.
Yeah, for sure. I got you. All right, Smitty, back on you. Terry Fontenot, if the Falcon doesn't make the playoff, does he stay or does he go?
Honestly, he could go, but to me, I think he's put enough talent on this team for them to win. So I don't feel like he should receive none of the backlash. At the end of the day, it's about. And like I said, the coaching got to do their job for these players to succeed. And they had enough talent. They started 6-3 last year. They had enough talent to be a playoff team. And E-Dub seen what happened at the last half of the season. Tampa Bay just ran the marathon, hawked them down, and the rest is history. So at the end of the day, it's coaching. So look. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to get all the way into it, but trust me.
Mm-hmm. All right, E-Dub, is there anything in the Atlanta Hawks off season that we do not know or that we need to know?
Nah, I mean, we're all waiting for the big shooter fall to see who's going to be running things. I think that's the most important. Next up, you're going to see what's going to go on with the Trey extension. Does it happen in the off season? Does it happen during the season next year? And then you got the draft coming up. The draft you have, from my estimation, and I just started my draft work this week. You have the guys at the top. You got the Cooper, you got the Ace Bailey, you got those top 3-4 guys, and then everybody else is like in that same tier to me. Like you can go from like 5 to 25, and they're all kind of that same mold of they're very raw. They have a small skill set that you can build upon, but nobody's proven. Nobody's proven. And so, those are the three things you're looking at. The president, Trey's contract, and the NBA draft.
I got a question that I had this one of my boys asked me this earlier, and I was going to ask you How the Clayton kid from Florida? How do you think his game transition to the NBA? Because we've seen what he can do, in clutch time. He has the clutch genius. But how do you think his game transition to the next level?
I think for what he lacks in skill, be it he's not the fastest guy, he's not like a shooter, but he's got a ton of heart. And we've seen guys make it in this league based on just like they just play hard and they always going to have a roster spot. I think his ceiling might be like a fringe NBA starter. Like if he hits his ceiling, I think he's got all the tools. But just like I said, those guys from 5 to 25, he's raw. He needs some, like all these guys. But I like the kid. I really like him. And more so than anything, I just love his mentality. Not afraid to take the shot. We've seen a guy like right now with the Knicks who's not afraid to take that last shot. There is something about guys who are able to perform in the clutch. And if he's able to lean into that and develop, someone's going to get them a steal when they get him.
And I think he would be an excellent pick for the Hawks. They talk about Bufkin coming back. But, Clayton, to me, if he gets his shooting consistently, he could be a Bradley Beal type talent. Because Bradley Beal, he was a different animal at Florida. Mm-hmm. But he's 6'4". But you talk about a kid that's 6'2" that's got to find his way. I think he would be a good role player for the Atlanta Hawks until he's ready.
Yeah, I wish he was a little bit taller. Wish he was a little bit bigger.
Right.
But, yeah, I like the kid, man. I like the kid.
Speaking of the draft, we're going to hang right here with you for a minute, E-Dub. Common Maluwatch from Duke, 7'2" center from Sudan. Do you make a move to try to go up to get him in the top 10, or would you try to get that defensive presence by going up to get somebody like that? Or would you just hang back and just get what you can get at 13?
He's one of the guys that I like, that I really like. Inside, outside game, I think he's listed at like 7'2", raw, athletic. We have a propensity for drafting Duke guys, Jalen Johnson, Adrian Griffin. So I'm sure he's definitely on the radar. No way he makes it to 13. So you're going to have to make a move to maybe get inside that top 10 if you really want him that bad. It's really about your priorities. I think it would be worth the move. He's a guy that can come in and immediately be a backup, I think. Immediately, I think he can immediately back. And if not, by All-Star week, by the middle of the season, he can be your backup center. That is a position of need. If you can fill it with a rookie instead of a free agent, that'll be a move. It all depends on what you got to give up. Do you got to give up number 22? Do you got to give up a future second to get into that top 10? So it's a lot of moving and shaking, but I think that he is worth the value to get up in that top 10 if you can do it.
Yeah.
One quick question: Do you think Hassan can jump into the lottery by the time the draft rolls around?
Man, I've seen him go anywhere from I don't know, and I was looking at the boards today, and all the mock drafts are really just educated guesses right now. The closer that we get to the draft, is going to be a little bit more viable and a little bit more trustworthy. So right. I looked at him today just to kind of get a feel, but until you get closer to the draft, those mocks are going to be a little bit more. They'll have a little bit more validity and they'll have a little bit more credibility because folks are going to start knowing where teams are leaning. Agents are going to start leaking information and it's going to kind of look a little bit more solidified. So right now it's a smorgasbord. Like you'll go and look at 3 different websites and you'll see one guy at 7 and in the next website, he may be second round. And so I don't know, man, it's all over the place right now.
That's why I was asking, because everywhere I look, he was either, like you said, top 10 and all the way back to the middle of the second round. So it just
right
all
now,
depends.
everyone's just throwing spaghetti against the wall. They're throwing spaghetti against the wall. Give it another few weeks, and you'll start to see these draft boards start to look a little bit more similar because that information is going to start coming out of what teams want and where they're probably going to be going.
Agreed.
All right, Coach, you got any questions for E-Dub or Smitty?
Yeah, first of all, who gonna as African Americans, you gonna waste spaghetti throwing against the wall? Are you out of your mind?
Well, you know they say
Understand.
when you boil spaghetti, you throw it against the
Yeah.
refrigerator. You don't throw the whole pot. You just throw like one strand. Throw one string of
Yeah.
spaghetti.
The noodle gonna
sticks to
stick
the
because of the
refrigerator,
starch.
that means it's
Yeah.
ready. That's the old wives. I don't really do it no. I used to do it. I don't
I've
really
heard
do it
that.
no more. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard that.
One intriguing guy that I want to see if anybody's gonna take a chance on, and they said second round or free agent. Who gonna take a chance on a young kid with the one arm? You think anybody gonna pull him?
Yeah, Hansel Emmanuel.
Yeah, Nathaniel, I think it's Hansel.
Yeah, Hansel. Yeah,
He
that's
got
the
a
guy
one
that
arm.
Hawks and Pete. Yeah, he's in the draft. He said he was going. He said he ready. So yeah,
Honestly, that was a good question. Honestly, though, I think the best thing for him is to go as undrafted so he can end up where he's, utilized the best. Because the crazy thing about it, he's a very good defender, and
Yeah,
his scoring can get better. But as a defender, I think that's going to be his calling card.
yeah, he's gonna eat G League right off the bat for sure. But just want
Yeah.
to see who pulls the card, or like you said, he just go free agent and say, "Hey, I go stick where I can," and somebody just say, "Hey, let's see what we got in him," and make it a GM. But I admire his courage though for going out for being playing.
Oh,
But
he bad, man. He bad. He got it. Hey, he got some hops.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. I would love to see him. And again, I think he goes undrafted. I think he ends up maybe in the G League or something, or maybe overseas or something. He's going to be playing somewhere. He's a great kid. I've been following him since high school, and the kid is just a wonder to like be able to just overcome adversity like that. Like I pull for the kid in every which way. So I wish the best for him, man.
Yeah, I agree. I saw him in high school too. It was amazing.
Joe, where's Kneppel going? What you think he gonna get picked?
probably to Toronto. I think.
He's another guy I like for the Hawks, man. I mean, if he just happens to fall, I mean, you can never have too many shooters. He's like 6'7". And again, you always got to look at those Duke guys. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta's had a propensity for the Duke guys. And so he's not a guy I move up for, but it would be really nice if he just falls under the radar. And we've seen it happen. We've seen Jalen Johnson fall under the radar because he was a top 10 pick. And
Top
sometimes
5
it happens
before that ACL injury.
Yeah, I mean, folks
Yeah.
fall in drafts. We see that in the NFL and the NBA. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, folks fall in drafts, and so if he falls, listen, get you some shooting.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, that's all I got for y'all, man. I would love y'all to hang around and finish off the show since it ain't about 15 minutes left. If y'all want to do that, we'll talk a little hoops and things of that nature. So right up your alley, E-Dub.
Yeah,
You know,
I got 15 more for you. I got like maybe 12. I got maybe 12.
All right.
I got 15.
So as we're watching the Indiana and New York game, how do y'all feel about Shea winning the MVP? Well, no, how do you feel about 7 straight non-born Americans not winning the MVP for the NBA? Now, what did that say about the NBA? E-Dub, I'm gonna start off with you.
I mean, it's telling. I mean, it's no secret that the world has not only caught up, but they have surpassed us in many ways. You know, and most notably, development. These are guys that have been playing since the age of like 4. Like they've been playing like these Euros. Like they take this stuff seriously. And the developmental cycle in America is a joke. You know, all of this AAU stuff is a joke. Like, you know, kids only spend like 1 year in college. So the developmental track to the NBA is terrible for Americans. But in Europe and France and in Canada and all them dudes been playing together since they were 12. You know, and now we're seeing the fruits of that. You know, we could thank the Dream Team for that. You know, back when all their dads was playing against Magic and Michael, you know, it sparked something, and you have to credit these guys. You know, it's not like we're giving them anything; they're taking it, and so you got to take your hats off because they're deserving of it.
Smitty, what you got?
I agree wholeheartedly, man. The game has switched to a European type game. That's why they're adjusting so well. And just like I said earlier, this is why I would take a San Antonio route, because we seen all the European players that Coach Pop brought in. They fit his system, and they were a success. And look, on any other team, they probably would have been what? Bench players, role players. But look at Ginobili, look at Parker. They fit what he did. So the way the NBA is, turning out, look at Luka, just like he just said. Luka was playing pro ball at 16 years old. So, I mean, you just got to adjust with the time, and that's what the Hawks need to do. They are starting to go in that direction, but yeah, I mean, it's just the way the game is, it's changed.
Coach, what you got on that, Coach?
Well, AAU is and I coached AAU before. AAU has destroyed a lot of players that could have been good players in the NBA. I don't care what it says. Some of the stuff they do, and some of the coaches, the way they coach, and some of the things that go on, look like it got to a point where I ain't gonna lie. When we were playing at this gym, the only reason I wanted to show up and coach was because the guy at the concession stand had the best barbecue in the city. The game was just it wasn't even refereed right. It was like, man, come on, y'all letting this stuff go on. It's just a up and down, and it's not fundamentals not being taught or anything. And it's like, wow.
That's true, because that All-American. Hey, that's true, Cook. That All-American game is garbage now.
Oh, they wasting time. It's like you're not giving you and there you go with these American kids not doing anything worthwhile because it's not being taught. But it's okay. Yeah. They'll learn next year. Let's see who can come out next year and win a foreign player. It'll be another one coming out.
That go back to what I was saying earlier, which is why I would go into the San Antonio type system, because they always taught fundamentals. And that's why they were so. Yeah. I mean, the game was boring some of the time, but they were physical. They played defense, and they turned it into points. So yeah, that's the route I would go.
All right, E-Dub, who you liking in the semifinals in the West and the semifinals in the East, and why?
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's two just really great matchups. I'm torn from emotion because I'm pulling from Minnesota. My son is the biggest Anthony Edwards fan in the world. Shout out to Anthony Edwards, though. When he was here in Atlanta, my son actually got a chance to meet him, and just the nicest guy. Took a picture with my son, and changed my son's life forever. So my heart wants to go for Minnesota, but it's hard for me to pick anybody against that OKC team. I got OKC winning it all. I got them probably beating Minnesota, but I would love to be wrong on that. In the East, I really don't want the Knicks to win, because the two teams I hate probably the most are New York and Boston. And unfortunately, they had to play each other. So I'm pulling for the Pacers. I don't know, man. I don't know if their run runs out, because, man, they've been some giant killers. So that's a pick 'em 50-50. If you put a gun to my head, I would say maybe New York, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I can't keep stressing that. But Smitty, what you got?
I got to go with E-Dub, man. I agree. OKC, they a buzzsaw right now. How they ran through Denver, a championship contender, that 7th game, you might have unlocked the beast that game. I mean, that probably gave them the mentality, who gonna stop us now? And honestly, in that series, I don't think Anthony Edwards had enough help to go against all that talent that they have. So it's nothing against Minnesota. They just had to get more talent. And OKC, to me, has the most talent left in the playoffs. So and I agree. I think New York is gonna edge out Indiana because of Brunson and the way he runs that team. But yeah, I don't think nobody's beating OKC. And the way Jalen Williams is coming out of these playoffs, it just shows you he's going to be a beast down the road. And that team is still young. Just think about it. That team is young. So
and there's
you
a
talk
difference
about
between, and there's
Go
a
ahead.
difference between like playoff good and great.
Right.
And
Right.
I remember back in the day when the Detroit Pistons, they were really good, and they made a move to acquire Mark Aguirre.
Aguirre from Dallas, right?
And that just like made a great, like a good
That did.
team, like great. And sometimes you need to make a move to get a Mark Aguirre. And that might be what Minnesota needs to do. I don't know like what you give up, what you get, but like they may like and they may, I mean, they still got a chance. I'm not going to say they don't have a chance, but I just don't think they got enough. And which is crazy because they have a lot. I just don't think they have enough.
And you know who else they had on that team? E-Dub, this guy named Adrian Dantley. This
Yeah.
dude, Vinny Microwave Johnson. They had the defense. We know it. What did they get? They went and got them 3 scores.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the type. Yeah, that was
Got 'em a
that
chip.
team. Boy.
Yeah. All right, Coach, who you got? I see you, Dez. I see you. I know you meant to say many.
Well, I'm going on record right now, and I'll come back on here next Wednesday and apologize. Minnesota wins game 2. I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm gonna book it. Minnesota will win game 2. Now,
Okay.
game 3, 4, and 5, I don't know, but they're gonna win game 2. There's gonna be a coming to Jesus meeting over the next couple of days before they play again, and they're gonna come back at Oklahoma City with a different frame. And Anthony Edwards gonna have a good game, and OKC is gonna be caught a little off guard, and they're gonna lose. But I want to see New York, and I'm not a fan of OKC per se. I like them, but I like Minnesota, I guess. Even though that's the DVD crew, as they got the nickname, the Deadbeat Dad crew, because they got a bunch of deadbeat dads on the team. So, but I won't talk about that. Whole nother subject. But I'm gonna say New York and yeah, OKC probably gonna pull it out in 6 games. Both games a series gonna go at least 6. So
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, man. I think Shaq winning that MVP today. I think that's gonna hit that switch. He gonna turn to the 06 Wade, and I just see it.
Mhm.
It
All right,
is
real
funny
quick, fellas. Go ahead.
how when he did his interview, when you do an interview with somebody who won the MVP, somebody sitting one-on-one and talking to him, he had his whole team plus son behind him.
Right.
That's a team concept right there. They're a true team, OKC.
Yeah, and they've
It's
been doing
hard
that
to-
all season long. All season long
Yep.
after their post game, they're all there. And so, like, it's not like shaving their heads for the playoffs like the Knicks did one year. It's not like the Pacers did. Like, that is something intrinsically instilled into their team. And, like, again, championships are won with teams that get hot at the right team, like the right season. I think that right now, the 2 teams that are hottest, unfortunately, the Knicks and OKC.
Yeah, agree.
All right, question of the day, basketball. You gonna love this, E-Dub. And Coach, you gonna love it too. I got 8 choices. I need you to pick me the top 3 from this. And then we're gonna get to the fun bag, and then we're gonna close it out. The 8 choices is I need your top 3 best signature moves by players. I got the Hardaway crossover. I got the Chris Jackson cross and pull, MJ fadeaway, Iceman finger roll, the Smitty ghost move, Kareem hook, Ginobili Euro, and the James Harden step back.
Smitty, you gotta move. Wow. You a
Man, I'm 5 foot.
multi-talented.
Hey man, I'm 5'3". I'm Muggsy Bowles height, but I do got a crossover. But yeah, man, that's easy, man. MJ fadeaway, Kareem skyhook, and one name that you didn't name, I put Kyrie Irving Henderson.
well, his signature move, but I mean, all his
I mean,
handles,
handles.
I'm gonna go those same two. I gotta go Skyhook 1, MJ fade. I'm gonna go that Chris Jackson pull up because man, like he was step before step was fast.
Yeah,
like Chris Jackson was just you had to be there.
He was different. He was different.
Yeah,
he was different.
All right, I'm definitely waiting on Dez 3 for sure. All right, Coach, what 3 you got? I know you're going with Kareem, so I ain't going.
No doubt. That's number one. Now, Chris Jackson, when y'all say you had to be there, I remember Chris Jackson playing down on the coast in Pascagoula, Mississippi, lighting him up from half court. And he was an attraction all by himself as soon as he walked in the gym. So, hey, hard to stop that kid. And I ain't gonna count the MJ push off. I mean, what you call it? The MJ
Fade away.
Fade away. There's another one. The Iceman, the finger roll, because only Iceman can finger roll. So you gotta have him in there.
You should have threw that. You should have threw that Hakeem shaking now too.
Dream
Shake.
Yeah, Dream Shake.
Yeah. I should have did put
Yeah,
I should have did put other. Yeah, I could have put that in there. Speaking of Mississippi, Coach Monte Ellis, and don't get mad. Monte Ellis was on a podcast and they asked him the top players to come out of Minnesota. He mentioned Chris Jackson.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday, girl.
He mentioned Chris Jackson, Al Jefferson, and he didn't have Devin Booker on there. And I'm like, well, Coach go get pissed off.
Not really.
Wow.
He said him, Al Jefferson, and I can't remember who else he said.
Did he say Eric Dampier?
No, he didn't say Dampier either.
Wow.
So I was going to get your top 3 out of Mississippi. Chris
Jackson, Monte Ellis, and Jefferson was good coming out of high school.
Yeah, he said Jefferson for sure.
Now, one guy that they don't give credit because he's passed now.
He said Kareem, MJ, the rest is a toss.
Yeah. There was a kid coming out of my home college, University of Mississippi Valley State University, guy named, you can look him up, named Al Ford. Ford was in the SWAC, averaging 29 plus a game. He doesn't get as much pub as the other ones because his NBA career didn't last that long. But he died of he had a sickness. I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember what exactly, lupus. I'm not sure what it was. But he was that Dampier was a monster back in those days playing for in high school. You can count him. He was a baller. And it's somebody I'm missing. I just can't think of the name. Booker didn't get that much pub.
Yeah, he from Moss Point, right?
Yeah, he didn't get as much pub. So.
All right, well, fellas, it's time for the SRT Fun Bag. This is Coach's favorite segment. So after these questions, we go get up out of here. So we got 5 questions, 30 seconds to answer, and enjoy. All right, first question. We'll just go around the horn. So Smitty, you'll be first, then E-Dub, then Coach. All right, first question. Which restaurant would you bring back if you was on the board of bringing back restaurants? Sizzlers, Shoney's, Mrs. Winters, or Fuddruckers?
Miss Winter's still open. I go to Fuddruckers in Tennessee all the time.
Need to be a little closer then, huh?
I would say Fuddruckers because I think Red Lobster and Papa Do's will overtake Sizzler, so I'd probably say Fuddruckers since their hamburgers pretty good. All
right, E-Dub, what you got?
I'm gonna go Shoney's, man. I was a big Shoney's guy. There used to be one up the street from the house. Kids used to go there for breakfast on Sundays, and so I bring Shoney's back.
Coach.
Yeah, it's a Shoney's up in Forsyth, Georgia, near Macon. It's still one that they reopened.
Yeah, it's Shoney's one in Macon.
They doing a lot of business. I do Shoney's.
He bring back Shoney's. Yeah, I'm bringing back Shoney's too. So Shoners, I think, is a good choice. All right, second question. What is your daily dress routine? What do you put on first and what do you put on last?
That easy. Put my drawers on first, my shoes on last.
All right, from top to bottom, let's go. Let's do it that way. Is it the socks, then the pants, and then the top, or you go top, pants, and then socks?
Top, socks, pants, and the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
Ditto.
You do?
Yeah, I
Same.
that.
You
Same.
going from top to bottom? Coach, top to bottom?
Yep.
Okay.
Take me a couple hours, but I get there.
Dad say that's this drop. Well, I mean, we assuming that you got your underwear on. You know that.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man. Look,
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just,
All right,
I'm
third
just being
question.
honest.
Yeah, a whole wing or a wingette or drumette?
It don't matter. I like chicken, so it don't even matter. But if I had to choose one, I said I already cut up.
So the
Drumette.
drumette.
Yeah.
Edo, what you got?
Yeah, go ahead and get rid of that little funky part, man. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that little wing part.
just gonna get it up out of here, man.
Go on, get it up out of here. Coach, what you got? Wingette, a whole wing.
I'm like Smitty, as long as that wing don't fly away, give me that part right there. As long as it stay where it is, because you know something might happen. Next thing you hear that noise.
Hey, you know I do a test run with these fun bag questions. Somebody said they'll take the whole wing with no hair on it. I'm like, whoa.
Hair.
I thought I'd say
Hair.
you mean
Might be
feathers.
feathers.
Yeah,
the feathers.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
Hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. But anyway,
Man, just, hey, if they had hot sauce, they won't even be thinking about them feathers. Trust me.
exactly.
Slide right on down.
All right, if you had to get a life coach, give me a celebrity life coach that you would hire.
That's a good question.
Well, that's an easy question.
I said Dion. I said Dion because
Okay.
his confidence. I say his confidence is unmatched. Give me Dion.
All right, well, Dion had you banned from YouTube, Smitty, with your confidence.
Hey,
All
but
right,
I bet I'll be paid at the end of the day.
You
Yeah.
might be right about that. All right, Dub, who's your
I'm gonna
celebrity?
go with my guy. My guy I went to college with, Eric Thomas, very
Okay.
popular motivational speaker. Went to the
There you
same
go.
college as me.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
You talking about Pastor Eric Thomas?
What's that?
Is he a pastor?
Well, no, he's not a pastor. I think he might have some pastoral credentials, but he's a motivational
okay.
speaker.
Oh, okay.
All right, look in the chat.
Bring it from the bottom.
He knows
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, all right, Coach, who's your celebrity life coach?
Denzel.
Good call.
Denzel had minimal problems, and just to recreate that first scene from Training Day when they were in the restaurant at the beginning, when he was telling old boy, he said, "You in the car with a fine woman for a officer, a superior officer, and the most entertaining thing you can tell me is you had a traffic stop." And the guy told him, "I got a wife." Denzel told him, "You got a," and that ended that conversation real fast. Yeah, Denzel will motivate a blind man to drive a car. I don't care what they
Go
say.
ahead, man. All right, Coach, look at you. I'm going with Coach K. Some people say maybe he's not a celebrity, but I'm still sticking. I'm going with Coach K.
Okay.
All right, this is the last question. Let me go ahead and get my get up out of here music going for the last question. All right, the last question is gonna be a little sentimental. Who is it a person that you can think of that did some great things for you or did something for you that you have not properly thanked yet? Is there a person that you didn't get a chance to properly thank because they either was there for you when you weren't expecting them to be, they did something for you that was beyond expectations, or whatever the case may be, but you didn't get a chance to say, man, I really, really appreciate that.
That easy for me. I say my stepfather. I never got a chance to. He passed away when I was about 21, and he raised me from the time I was 4 or 5 all the way up to 17. And he passed away before I even got a chance to tell him how much an impact he made on my life growing up. Because we all know, single mothers don't always find those guys just going to take in their child and treat them like their own. So I would say my stepfather, man.
All right, you want to tell him thank you now?
Oh, he looking down on me every day. That's why I do this.
Okay, well, there you go. Good deal. All right, E-Dub.
Coach Phil Hudema. That was my PE coach when I was younger. 3rd grade, maybe all the way up through 10th grade. Taught me not just basketball, but he gave me work ethic. And it's crazy that I'm a PE coach now. And every now and again we have exchanges on Facebook, and I thank him, but like, he doesn't know how much he poured into me and how much I am who I am because of him. Pushing the limits, striving for excellence. All those things go beyond sports, and they've helped me in my professional life, and so, like, yeah, coach, he's always going to be coach. He's had many titles. He's been like a superintendent, he's been a principal, but to me, he's always going to be coach. So yeah, salute the Phil, my guy.
Hey man, I feel that you do, because these teachers should be paid like lawyers and doctors for how much they have an impact on our life, man.
Hey, your lips to God's ears, my brother.
All right, Coach. Speaking of Coach, it's your turn.
Well, if I can get through this without crying, I can do it.
I told you it was gonna be sentimental.
My grandmother, one of them.
Okay.
She taught me every basic. She sent me outside to get a switch, and I didn't have the right length. She'll make me go get a long one. That taught me to use a ruler and learn weights and measures, getting the right length to do what she had to do. She taught me healthy eating. She wouldn't give me nothing I didn't deserve. She cooked good food. Let's see. She taught me English, but if I tried to get smart with it, I accidentally said a curse word. Well, she stopped that too. So that I go with my grandmama.
Oh man, I agree with that, Coach. 100%.
Yeah.
Ho, you went to Doug. You know about them teachers. They didn't play.
No, I didn't. I was going to go to Doug, but I ended up going to Northside. I was enrolled in Doug. I was close to it. I was that close. Coach, when I told Coach Dollar my uncle wasn't gonna let me go to Doug, he just peeled off. He had a Mazda 626.
Old Coach Dollar.
Oh no, not a Mazda 626. What was it? A Super, Toyota Super, the blue. It was a blue Super. And I said, Coach, Unc said I ain't gonna be able to do it. He said it's too much trouble around now. Nah, he go send me out there with the pale skin.
One of the most underrated coaches in Atlanta.
I don't know if he was underrated. Maybe not appreciated as much.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna have to give a shout out to Mary Kay. But when I got sick, man, she pulled out all the stunts. When I got sick, man, she It was my director for Emory. I got sick, had to go to the hospital, and I was in the ER. And they told they need to move me to a room. They said, well, we ain't gonna move him to a regular room. We're gonna move him to the Jimmy Carter suite. She had me in the Jimmy Carter suite and had to put it on a credit card. And it was her corporate card. And she fed everybody who came to visit me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you right, man. I mean, hey, you right, man, because Emory got the best doctors, man, because I was in that same situation you was in 2008, so I know exactly what you're talking about. So, yeah, they have some of the best doctors in the country, man.
Absolutely. So, man, that's going to do it, man. I wanted to end it. I had a different question, but like I said, I had to go do these test runs, and in the test run, they said, no, you need to flip that question and ask to be who do you need to be thankful to? Because at first it was, who do we need to shoot the bird at? They say, no, you don't need to need to ask that one.
Nah, I can't do that one.
They said you don't need to do that one. So they said you're gonna have folks looking on Facebook for some folks who wronged them, in the 5th grade. I was like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I said, well, you're right. I'm glad we switched the question, and I know it was sentimental, but sometimes we got to think about some of the people that we didn't really get a chance to say thank you to, or a full thanks to. So with that being said, I'm gonna give a shout out to Smith. I'm gonna give a shout out to E-Dub and Coach. Man, I so appreciate y'all coming through, man. We had a great time. Hope everybody enjoyed it and got something out of this great show tonight, man. It was always good. Always good to get some Falcons talk and some Hawks talk. The only person we missed was Bob, and Bob is he's still kind of recovering over some illnesses himself. So, but shout out to Bob, man, and we hope that he's getting better. And the Braves are doing better too. Coach said by Labor Day, take a look at the record. And Coach, I guess you were right. So I guess I'll give you a couple of my shrimp off my plate that you buy for Hancock when we go to the Big East.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Smitty, give me your shout outs, bro.
Y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Find me on the NFC South Roundtable Tuesday at 7 o'clock during the season. Y'all can find me at FatBoySlim_21 on Twitter, because I'm always blowing that thing up, man. That's what I do.
There it is. E-Dub, what you got?
At Hawks Beat, man, all the platforms. All the platforms. At Hawks Beat. I'm easy to get at.
There you go. Coach.
Shout out to H.O. Ho for having me on the show. Shout out to Smooth Smith. Y'all call him Smith. Smooth Smith. He said Fat Boy Slim, but hey, he's regular just like all of us. And a shout out to not E-Dub, but Eric Dub. I call him that. I just gave him a name. and I'm glad he was on here. Hancock, wherever you at, it's almost that time, brother. Get ready. Shout out to my boys, Red Rev and Armani, wherever y'all are, for the Red Rev show featuring me on Saturdays at 11 o'clock until we get tired, and then we stop and shoot the BS. So shout out to everybody. Dez, Zavada, I know y'all out there. Shout out to y'all too.
Yeah, shout out to everybody, all the new listeners and anybody new. Shout out to the regular tenants, and man, we sure appreciate that, man. Shout out to Hancock. D-Will had a birthday this Monday, so happy birthday, D-Will, for sure. Getting some hand claps as well. Yes, shout out to D-Will, man. This is first year with his birthday without his wife being around, so definitely had to put some arms around him.
Prayers up, man.
Yeah, prayers up for D-Will, for sure, man. With that being said, fellas, thanks again, and for Hancock, myself, and everybody who tuned in to listen, man, this is the main man, H.O. from Bankhead. R.I.P. Moms and Pops, R.I.P. BC, man. And this is SRT, man, and we'll see y'all next week. We out. Thanks, fellas. Peace.